Hey there guys and gals, Seiko StarCraft bringing you some Zotac Cup action in Wall. We've got Nurchio. Zerg killed 30 Marines. This is actually the last game of best of 5 against these two players. I am pretty certain that this is it. Zerg can't do anything against Marines. It sounds like Nurchio's a little bit upset against the kind of play that maybe Polt has. I didn't watch all the other games. I thought this was actual Polt, like TSL Polt. But anyways, this looks like it will be an exciting match, mostly because this is a lot more important of a game than the other 4. So whoever wins this, I believe, wins the group of this Zotac Cup, so kind of important. Zerg has they're kind of arguing that Polt's saying that the Zerg can split stuff as well, but Nurchio is saying because all of the Zerglings are melee units, that Zerg is getting crushed right now by good Terrans like Innovation, particularly in the Widowmine matchup. The Widowmine matchup right now is just killing face against Zerg players that don't know how to do with it. Soulkey did beat Innovation. If you guys haven't seen that in the GSL, check it out. Top notch. But when you're trying to split against Widowmines, you really need to pull off some Zerglings in small amounts and then send them in to attack the Widowmines, taking the hits and drawing it back into the Terrans. Good job, I guess. Anyways, the series is tied up 2-2, so it sounds like Nurchio's a little bit QQing here. But if he won 2 of the 5 games, I mean, he can't feel too upset at this point. He did go for his hatchery first, because this is Newkirk, and you should go hatchery first. It takes forever for people to get across the map and kill you. Though we do see a Reaper coming out of Mr. Stormpolt. Never heard of Stormpolt before, and I sure hope this isn't that same Polt. I'm pretty sure it isn't the Korean Polt. It couldn't be, unless for some reason he joined Team CM Storm. Innovation would win every... That's really funny. That's a really good point. In a best of 3, it doesn't matter. If they played a best of 20, Innovation win every time. That's a really interesting statement. What he's trying to say is that because it's a best of 3, the types of strategies that are going to be used are a little bit more funky. But in a long enough time frame, it seems like Nurchio believes that Terran will win. Somebody had asked me on my channel quite recently if I believe that there is balance in the game. If there's balance in the Force. And I believe that there is, to a certain extent. Right now, I know that Terran has the advantage. Because of the current metagame with Reapers, Hellions, and, you know, just pretty much everything else that's in place now. The drops, the Hellbats, the boost on the drops. Terran, the current metagame, gives Terran the advantage. Like, this is a good example. Right now, against this Reaper, there's nothing that this Zerg player can do until the Queens are out, and until he has got speed. There's nothing else he can do about it. These 2 Reapers can take this Queen on. So essentially what it means is that all the Zerg player can do is try to weather the storm until it works. That I consider to be something that's somewhat broken. But if you look at the current WCS qualifiers for Korea, over 1/3 of the players are actually Zerg players. So I think it's like a 64 group or something like that, but over 1/3 of them are Zerg. So the Zerg are getting in there, and even in MLG Life, a Zerg beat Flash, a Terran in the final. So I'd like to think that Terran has an advantage, but that's just with the current metagame. As things get more ironed out, people can deal with Widowmines better, drops are getting more discovered. What we're going to see is the shift going on into Zergs being able to put on good pressure, which is why we're seeing a lot of early Roach pressure, which is working really well. And we're seeing people starting to use just a splash of Mutalisks to be able to deny drops and run around the map scouting for any type of... Well, at least you're scouting. That's funny. Man, Nurchio must be really upset. I might have to go back and watch those other games, because Nurchio sounds really, really upset about something here. Not like the pseudo SE2 player 4GG. That is really brutal. 4GG... It's not like I'm a fan of his or anything like that, but he's played some pretty good games. That was a little That's an interesting shot. Anyways, we have a wall up here from the Zerg player. Creative roll on that side. Roach, Crawler, Queen. So he should be able to beat back these Hellions. And you can see this is an interesting thing. As Zerg, you never thought you would have to be in a position where you have to wall off. As a Zerg player. Again, unless you're playing against Zerg. But now with the current metagame with the Hellions and the Reapers, going for the wall off is actually extremely important to being able to deflect Hellion all-ins. I do it from time to time. I'm not going to say often. But I love going 2 factory Blue Flame Hellion. 1 base or 2, and you can kill just about every single drone in a Zerg player's base before you're done. You get up about 8 to 9 Hellions. In the early game, even if they have out a couple of Roaches, they won't be able to keep up with the Hellions, and they will toast everything. This is the really, really current impressive push that Terran players do. It is the Reaper Hellion. It looks like Xerxio supply blocked. Must have went for a scout of some sort. Drops are on their way. And then we're going into Bio on this side. Widow Mines are out. Queens are putting on some pressure at the front. Roaches. Yeah, once again, you need these certain units to counter it. And I don't consider the game to be well established when you are forced to do certain things. For instance, the Protoss versus Protoss matchup, I consider to be kind of broken. You are forced to get out gateways and be able to... there's no fast expands. There's nothing like that because the other player will be able to go 3 gate or 4 gate and stomp you. As a Zerg player, if you need to get out Roaches or a giant pile of Speedlings just to be able to survive, you know, a common Terran versus Zerg matchup, it seems like it's forcing the player more than allowing them to be creative. Big pile of Overlords. Gonna head to the back of the base. Nothing for defenses right now. So it's really going to be about how quick the Zerg player can pull back units. Let's pull the units tab. Did he get a drop ship out yet? Yep, he has not sent it in anywhere though. If we look at the economy, the Zerg player's got a kick-ass economy right now. I'm just expecting him to really start machining out an army. 3rd base is up. Starting a mine there. He's got gas on 3 bases. The Terran player does have a 3rd command center on the way. And pretty good saturation on 2 bases. What has he got in this medevac? Marauders and Marines. It looks like he's trying to go maybe bust down. The Marauders are going to be really good obviously against the Roaches. The Roach speed is just about finished up. Ooh, Stimpak's done. That bodes ill will. 1 Roach goes down. We see 11 Roaches and the Infestors coming out. Looks like he's taking Stormpole's advice on this. Now, this is a good combination. The Marauder Hellion is a great combination because it deals with Roach pressure really well. Oh, he didn't get Pathogen Glands. That's a bit of a mistake out of Xerxio there. He does push back this army. He's got a good supply lead. These Roaches are kind of doomed. Go, Infested Terran. Xerxio does need... Did he not get Pathogen Glands? No. That's a bit of a mistake if you're going to be doing much for Infestor play. You need that Pathogen Glands. A good chunk of Roaches. I don't think that's enough to necessarily deal with this army. The mines... Oh, that's a lot of mines. Alone will be able to shut this down. There's no detection on this side. Roach Hydra looks like it's the name of the game here out of Xerxio. Which I do like that matchup against Bio, but it's all about upgrades. If you're going to go Roach Hydra against a Bio army with medevacs, you need sick upgrades. Otherwise, they will just mow through your army. Good little splits of the mines. Going to get good map control and good vision from these. Xerxio is just powering out a huge army. He does have detection in this army now. Oh, he's going to catch the Widow Mines. Ugh. Fungals would be really important right now. Just send in 2 Roaches into that. Or 1. The Hydras do outrange the Widow Mines when they do have their... Oh, no. Looks like Grooved Spines is just finishing up. That was a big, big hit from the Widow Mine. That flank's pretty sick here out of Poles. Once again, oh, that was a great fungal. Huge fungal. Not enough medevacs to keep that alive. Cleans that mostly up. Not much there for Stormbolt anymore for an army. Scans and does see what his demise is. Roaches and Hydras both have speed, and there is no army down here to deal with this. This is not big enough. So he is forced to run away, but he's going to have to move that command center. Those Hydra... There's not that many Hydras left, actually. This is really interesting from Polt. He's just going straight after it. Great flank from behind. Is there any fungals? One fungal. He is on some of the production facilities here. I think Nurture's going to get cleaned up eventually from this. Did split up his army. I do like this. Stick on the production. Start picking off some workers. Really clever. Nurture's in a really good spot supply-wise. But this army is probably going to get cleaned up, and you're going to see that supply dip quite a bit. I don't know if he got enough damage done from that. Tried to target down the actual labs, but it didn't work. Just a small little rogue army. You're gonna have to pull back from the siege tanks, though. I am surprised that Polt did go into siege tanks here. Generally, you won't see that. You'll just see more mines out of a Terran player. Nurture, once again, you see a supply did dip down quite a bit. Looked like there was one Viking going on a scouting mission. Still no defenses in the bases. I'm very surprised that there hasn't been any drops out of the Terran player. You need to use those drops just to be able to help drive back the Zerg aggression. Because one drop with 8 Marines in it can kill a ton of crap before you'll actually get any, before you'll be able to get all the damage done. Big transfer of submarines, of SCVs down. Skill from Nurcio. Once again, I don't know if this is a big enough army. He is out of range of the siege tanks. He's going to have to stay out of range of those siege tanks. Once again, forces the lift. Polt's playing very, very conservative. These Hydras, once again, good upgrades on them. What are they, Bio? Bio's still only at 1-1. 2-2's just started. Once again, did Nurcio get the pathogen glands? Still no pathogen glands, and he's making infestors. It's a big mistake because you want that extra energy to hit fungals right away after you come out onto the map. Good position here out of Polt. Should be able to protect that third base just fine. Another command center coming up. This army, it's hard to do big flanks. I'm not too sure what all these overlords are doing out here. Polt's got to be careful not to push too far, or he will get surrounded. The Bio army's pretty fast, though. It should be able to get out of there alright. Polt's starting to narrow the supply difference. Oh, nope. Never mind. There's another 12 roaches. That pushes it ahead. He is getting +1 melee. I think his hive is just... No, his hive is done. I'm surprised he hasn't just started 3-3 for his range, because that's where most of his army's going into. Maybe even going into some Swarm Host right now might be fairly sexy, but there is enough tanks here, I think, to deal with this. Now we finally have another drop going out. That's cool. Poop to creep. Once again, if you've got... Like, the bank from Nurcio would tell me, pull off these workers, build, like, a couple of crawlers and a couple... Well, he does have some spores, actually. It doesn't have anything else. Because this army that he has is so very immobile that the drops are just going to do so much more damage to him. The good thing about these spore crawlers is at least it's delaying the Terran army, so that way the Zerg can get back in time. Doesn't look like he's got anything coming back, though. Queen's gonna go down. Looks like Nurcio wants to go for the attack here. I don't know about this, Nurcio. You're gonna lose a lot of your tech at home. The tanks have been neutralized by the Blinding Cloud, but look at the supplies just even up completely here. Polt's so far behind now. This did get cleaned up, but if we look at the front, That, well, Nurcho is remaxing pretty fast. Burrow might not have been a bad choice either. I'm upset about the pathogen glands. Medivacs on its last legs. Yeah, I might as well drop it. Just be a dick. No reason not to. Big remax out of Nurchio. But I just feel like the Terran... Unless the Terran... Oh boy. Go now. Oh no. He got the siege up in time. Nice blinding clouds. Those blinding clouds are really good. But he's got to get on top of those tanks before they wear off. No, he didn't get there. Killed the Bio Army, but the Bio Army is replaceable. That's still going to town on that. Oh, that's funny. Ah, 44 links coming out. Nurcho just blew his entire bank. He's about to lose his spawning pool. Oh, if he focused it down, actually, he would have got it. Big push in on this side by the Terran player. Great tank split to deal with any more blinding clouds. That blinding cloud, I don't think hit anything. This is pretty much the last push, I think, from the Zerg player. He needs to bust it now, or it's just not going to work out. Huge front. Here come in more Zerglings. But the Bio is cleaning up all these Lings before they can get on top of the tanks. Reinforcements are coming in. I don't think the Nurchio's got enough. It's so close, though. No, he's going to get pushed back again. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. I don't think... He doesn't have the bank to build any, though. More Infestors, though, pathogen glands. Oh boy. Nurchio does have a lot of bases, and that's to his credit. But this base is pretty much forfeit. Shoot. Nurchio's trying his best to remax, but he can't get enough minerals to build the Ultras. Ultras take so long to morph. Not enough money for fungal growth. Not enough money for fungal growth. I like the Widowmine placement. This might actually be helpful. Nice little Ling run by. That always helps. Oh, Infestors, run to your death, why don't you? Those Lings got cleaned up in a hurry. 2 more command centers coming from Polt. 4 Ultras on the way. Looks like he did manage to get a bunch of them out. He's going to need them to break through the siege line. Well, Polt didn't clean this up, but I don't think he's too worried right now. Just slow crawling out onto the map. Looks like he's waiting for his armor. I guess it's time. I don't know what made him decide to do that. His upgrades aren't finished. Well, he's trading pretty cost effectively. He's got the queens for the transfuses, but all the Ultras went down. Reinforcement should spell the end of Nurchio here, I think. The supplies have been fairly equalized. Terran's going to keep the pressure on here, though. Lings coming out, but they're not going to matter. GG, I'll go play games where outcome depends on me as well. Is Nurchio going to be the next Idra? I mean, this is... At least he GG'd, but... That's one sad panda. I still think it was good play out of Polt. Nurchio had some big mistakes in that. He went for that Roach Hydra. But that needs to be supplemented by more Infestors with the ability to do fungal growth, so you need to have that pathogen glands. His Ultras were too delayed, and they didn't have the upgrades. he couldn't break it. His Roach Hydra lines just couldn't dig deep enough to get through all those armies. Oh well. I'm kind of sad to see Nerchio starting to QQ a bit more. But what can you do? If you guys like that, I guess that means that Stormpulse going on to the next round. We also should have some more games for you here in the next little bit.